Next time you're out in the city hailing a yellow cab, there is a chance that you might end up being picked up by the man in charge of regulating taxis in New York City. Over the past couple of years, the Taxi and Limousine Commissioner David Do has from time to time picked up customers in a yellow cab. They have now released a short online documentary series called Commissioner's Cab. It's video from some of the rides that people have taken. Real New Yorkers riding with the TLC commissioner.
Where are you going? All right. 107th East, right? West. Okay, got it.
So it's not immediately clear to you when you get in that it will be the commissioner, but he will disclose it later in the ride.
I love that the TLC has like a multimedia department. I'm into this.
That's true. So a couple of weeks ago, just before Thanksgiving, I went for a ride. We set it up. I didn't just end up in the commissioner's cab, but we took a circle from Chelsea Market around the neighborhood. The commissioner told me that he wanted to do this when he was appointed to the job. But then there were some legal questions and so forth, but he pushed ahead because he really wanted to walk a mile in the shoes of drivers.
Yeah, it was almost 2.5 years ago, and you know, I pitched it to my legal team, who said, "In no way can you do this, right?" And then
and then you pitched it again.
And then I pitched it again, and then we got all the clearances from a variety of different folks. But I think where it landed was, you know, the mayor is a very working class mayor, and he wants us to understand what our 180,000 drivers are going through, and that's what I wanted to do, to understand the industry that I'm regulating. And so, you know, I can't perform the 40 hours of work that many drivers have to do, but at least I could have taken the 18 trips so far to understand a little bit about what they go through and how I can better my job to improve their experience in all 5 boroughs.
So you get the legal clearance to do this, and then you start doing the same thing any driver would go through.
Any driver has to go through a 24-hour course, which is, you know, pretty time consuming. I did it
24 hours in the classroom.
8 hours a day.
Okay.
And you know, what was a really amazing experience in that is that I was undercover, right, for at least a little bit of time. And then after 2 days in the class, they found out that I was the commissioner.
Oh, one of the sharp-eyed drivers did?
Yeah, well, all of a sudden, they played a YouTube video on that depicted me at a council hearing. And there I was. And then the whole entire classroom looked backwards.
So you fessed up at that point?
And then I said, oh, yep, I guess I'm caught. But it's a 24-hour course. It's a few hours of wheelchair accessible training. Then you take the course. You have a background check. And then you have a drug test.
I noticed you haven't leaned on the horn once yet.
That is not recommended in training.
Okay.
To become a taxi driver. We do not want to be aggressive. We want to be calm, collected, and make sure that we're paying attention to the roadway.
Being a polite driver kind of ruins the whole thing.
No, he set a good example. He's not a timid driver, but you know, he wasn't on the bumper of the car in front.
It has to be one of the biggest complaints of employees anywhere in any industry, right? Like, my boss has no idea what I go through. This is really cool for him to do, to show the drivers, like, I'm trying to make an effort here.
Right, having been through the training, like it was 24 hours of sitting in the classroom to do the training. To be fair, and he said it there, he's only done 18 trips.
Okay.
Right, so he's not picking up 20 trips a week.
And one of the things that he talked about with you was noticing that when you're in a yellow cab, you've got to kind of go fishing for drivers in a world where they're sort of pitted against, you know, Uber and Lyft drivers.
Right, the Uber drivers get told where to go and pick somebody up. We talked about the idea of the yellow driver having to actually be alert for when they're being hailed, right? Right? Like
Looking
you
for the
can't,
hand.
if somebody's got the hand up, you can't miss it. Here's what he said about that.
Have you got the art of watching the road, but also watching for the raised hand for a hail?
I am not that experienced. I will admit that I have missed a couple, and then my team says, "Oh my God, you just missed someone."
Yeah. So I could be the guy where they go, "Hey, what are you, blind? You don't see me over
so
here?"
you be the one yelling at me.
And then let's also talk about if in fact you do happen to get in the car with him, with the TLC commissioner, your ride is taken care of.
Yes, at the end of the ride, or before if he brings it up in conversation,
Right.
he makes it clear that part of their legal thing was that you can't take money for the rides.
Right.
But they go out, they rent a cab from one of the fleets. It's a legit cab, and he takes the trips and then it can engage the passengers in a conversation about how things are going for them.
I'm going to go and watch some of his little shows.
I will say in the era of the surge pricing, yellow cabs still very much have a place that, you know, even if it's a rainy day and you're lucky enough to win the yellow cab lottery.
I will say most days I would prefer a yellow cab because the drivers more often know where they're going as opposed to just following what the Waze or whatever.
Although
tells
more and more
you.
I've had yellow cab drivers say,
Not-
can you give me the exact address? Like I'll say, I'm going to 6th and 52nd. And then they say, what's the address? It's 6th and 52nd. That's the address. You want to check it out. The TLC has a YouTube channel, and a new episode of the Commissioner's Cab web series comes out every month. Thanks for watching our YouTube channel. For more stories in your communities, click the subscribe button right here. You can also download our app or watch us on TV for the latest news and weather updates every 10 minutes and more. We'll see you then.